Anyway, texting. We are back, America. Segment 2, episode 501, and counting. On our way to 1,000. Now, that is the Redoubtable one, Thomas J. Is the highly questioned one, RJ Miliaccio. Welcome back to IDD on Wet My Whistle Wednesday. And Big Pipey once again. Hasn't landed yet. Segment 2, all things NFL. Big trade today.
Not all things. We'll be around the sports world.
We'll be around the sport. We'll start with the NFL, though, because the Patriots today traded away Matthew Judon for a third-round pick.
What do you think about the value?
I thought it was good because he's coming off an injury. He's 32. And I'm not saying he still can't play because I think he can. But he's going to be a mercenary for the last 3 years of his career. And by the way, if he goes out and gets 2 Super Bowls doing it, more power to him. But they weren't going to pay him.
Not going to happen in Atlanta.
No. But again, he didn't sign an extension yet. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Oh, so this will be his final year.
Yeah, he's still. They did not sign an extension.
I thought they were trying to hammer it out. That's what I saw.
Well, they're trying to. But what is that going to be? I don't know. So the thing is, if he ends up being a mercenary like some other pass rushers went out and got that ring at the end, and that's all right. He's played a long time. He did good work in the
I wonder if he'd just take a raise for this year.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
I think he's only making $6 million this year. That is low.
Well, he made a ton of it the first
for the type of production.
Yeah. He made all the money the first 3 years. Yeah. That was designed by. He got his money.
Oh, I know.
He said, "Look, I signed the deal. I got all the money I wanted." This is where I get mad. I'm like, you signed the deal. They paid you a boatload. You can't say you didn't get your money, and you knew it was structured this way 4 years ago. So why are we bitching about it now? Why didn't you bitch about it 4 years ago before you signed the fucking contract? Because what happened?
Well, because you're just hoping you don't get hurt by the end of it.
But
right?
That's you know that before you sign the contract.
No, I understand.
So,
but my thing is like
football.
This. But see, here's the thing. Here's the only reason why I don't fully agree with you there, because if it goes the other way, and he doesn't perform after year 2, they can cut him and not pay him the rest of the contract. You know what I'm saying? So, at the same time, yes, I agree with you. You signed the contract. Come on. At the end of the day,
you got paid.
The contract. But my only thing is, if you're still playing at the same level in year 4 of the contract, I don't think it's crazy.
We don't know though.
But he is.
He came off an injury. He missed 13 games. We don't know what he's going to be.
Come on, he's going to be good.
I'm not saying he won't be good. I'm just saying that they paid him the money. This is all about, do you want to keep him after this year? He could be a free agent.
What was he making last year?
Oh, like 20 or 8, whatever it was.
20?
18 or 20, somewhere in there. He made that for like 3 straight years. He got paid.
They front loaded the contract.
Yeah, and then he got the signing, the guaranteed money up front. And he honored. They paid him.
I'll almost always side with the player in football.
I'm just saying,
whether it's truly logical or not, I think
when he signed that deal,
give him a little more.
That was the biggest deal he could have got when he got it. They paid him.
What do you get, 56?
I forget, it was a little more than that, but he got guaranteed money. He got all of it. They didn't hold one dime. He got all of it. And they were gonna not cut him, let him play out the last year and get all of it. They owed him $6.5 million. That was what was left on it. He signed it. To bitch about it 4 years later, no.
I mean, I see it.
You got paid. You got paid.
You know.
And he's 32. Yeah. By the way.
So just give him a raise for this year. You don't have to sign it.
They may have talked about that. Actually, they did offer him one for this year, and he turned it down.
I mean,
he wanted a multi-year deal. They weren't going to give it to him.
Maybe give him an extra 10 on top of it?
They offered him a bump. He turned it down.
Okay.
So the thing is, he wanted a multi-year deal. They weren't going to give him a multi-year deal.
I didn't hate the trade.
No, it was the right move. They traded him out of the conference. They got a third-round pick for him. I mean, they thought it was going to be a 4 or 5. They got a third. That's a good pick.
But my thing is, you just wish that it would have been nice could they have just done this before the draft and got a third-round pick this year. Then it really would have felt like an infusion.
I think part of this was people had to see him in practice, and it looked like he was going to start. He looks like he's going to start week 1. So if you don't see him practice, you don't know, well, what is he? So guys aren't going to – look, that's smart business. You're not going to sign a guy when you haven't seen him get in the field yet. If they saw him in training camp, he's healthy.
Now all you've seen is him sitting on an upside-down trash can, not wanting to play.
The fact that he still got traded?
So that didn't help him. I'm not saying – dude, you don't think they could have gotten a third-round pick?
He did that of his own volition. That's his fault. That's his fault.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about it would have been nice if they could have just made this decision prior to the draft. Whoever's fault it is.
They were going to let him play it out. because they didn't want to lose him. He's the best player on their defense.
No,
right
but
now.
they should have known by then that he wasn't going to play unless he got a raise, in my opinion.
First of all, he said he was going to play right up until training camp. He said, look, I signed the deal, I'm going to honor it. He said that.
And then he changed it?
Then he changed his mind.
All right, well, that's
then he
weird.
went nuts and sat on the trash can, all the shit that no one thought he was going to do.
Why? So did he say that thinking they were just going to give him a raise?
I don't know what he was thinking. I just know what he said in front of a camera. I signed the deal. I'm going to honor it. And by the way, they paid him all his money.
And
So
then,
it was
and
like
then
they
he
were
decided to change up?
Then he pulled this shit. Like right before training camp started, there started being rumblings. Okay, and then he fucking, and that's bullshit. That's why I don't side with him, because you can't say you're going to honor it and then go out and act like that.
Because to me, I think if you want to take that stance, tell them up front. You know, because then they can actually get a pick.
All
this
they
year.
said to him was, "We will see if we can work out a deal." They made him 2 offers. He turned them both down.
I wonder if he feels good about going to Atlanta.
Does he? I mean, what is Atlanta?
I mean, they're in they're in kind of a down.
Where are
conference.
they
They're,
in the NFC? Forget the division. Where are they in the NFC? Where would you rank them right now? Before the trade, where would you have ranked them?
Out of how many teams are in the NFC?
16. Where are you putting them?
10? Well, they got Kirk. They could be better this year. They're a wild card team?
Before the trade, nobody, and I mean nobody, was predicting the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC Championship game. In fact,
Well, not the NFC Championship
most people
game.
didn't have them winning the division. They didn't. Even with Kirk Cousins, most people weren't predicting.
It's the Saints or who?
The Saints and the Tampa Bay, who made the playoffs last year and won a
Forget
game.
about Tampa won it last year.
They won the division and they pissed whipped the Eagles week 1. I mean, then they went to Detroit and lost a close game in Detroit. Tampa Bay's back. They ain't going nowhere.
Didn't they lose?
They lost at Detroit.
No, but didn't they lose somebody?
They lost to the linebacker.
What about the receivers?
They're still both there.
They got them both? Mm-hmm. Oh.
So are they going anywhere? Is New Orleans going anywhere? I mean, they could. I'm not saying they can't win the division now. They could, but are they?
Neither one of those teams are great.
Right now, with those two there, I don't rank them any higher than 7th.
Yeah.
In the conference.
But look, that division was up for grabs last year.
I'm not saying they can't win the division.
They had awful quarterback play.
You're asking me. Here's the thing. If I'm Matt Judon and I'm 32 years old, I want to get paid, but I also want to have a ring on my finger.
Well, they're not getting a ring.
No, they're not. So if you're asking me how I feel about the trade, and by the way, he's going to have to play for this contract. If Atlanta offers him a multi-year deal without him having played it down in the regular season yet, that's stupid.
If I was Atlanta, I'd offer him like a $10 million raise.
1-year deal.
Like for this year.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I do. I wouldn't give him an extension beyond this year. If I'm Atlanta, I don't know what they're going to do, but I wouldn't do it.
I mean,
if
maybe
he
a 2-year deal.
If he has a great year and he makes the Pro Bowl, I'd give him a 2-year deal.
You might. I don't know. Signing him to a 2-year deal now might not be that bad. 2-year, $30 million.
Maybe they do it.
$15 million a year.
Maybe they do it. They're talking about something.
I mean, that's not bad. Because when you think about Atlanta's offense, their rushing attack last year
was nasty.
Huh? Because they have multiple backs.
Who's their number 1 receiver?
The number 1 receiver. Oh shit. He's a decent receiver.
The fact that you have to look him up.
I know it's not a.
He's not elite.
No,
he's not elite.
But they have Kyle Pitts at the tight end spot.
Is he elite?
I think he could be elite. He's not played up to what everybody thought he would be.
Well, part of it, he hasn't had a quarterback.
Right.
At least not a guy like this. But in terms of this guy's numbers, he's put up numbers. You see, man, Kirk Cousins has shown you give him talent, he'll put up numbers. He will.